Welcome back to my little video series on this collapsible shelving unit. We just got done building this unit, which looks like this when it's built, but when it collapses, it looks like this. I wanted to make a whole separate video on the setup and teardown process for this shelf because it does have a right and wrong way of doing it, and I want to make sure that everyone is following the safe recommended steps. When done properly, this setup is a one-person job, but when done improperly, you can really risk hurting yourself and have legs or shelves or dowels fall on your head. And the reason I know this is because it has happened to me. I learned my lesson and I wanted to make it a point to show y'all the correct way of setting this up. So what I have right now is the shelf completely disassembled. I just have the shelves laying out in the open because that's how we travel with them. And then I have this pole saw bag that is 6 feet long with the legs, the dowels, and the brace in it. There's a little pocket down here and I have a zipper pouch with the cotter pins and the nuts and bolts. So to get started on the assembly, we're just gonna open up this bag. And we need 2 of the bolts out of the tiny little bag. And we need 1 of the legs, doesn't matter which one. And then we need the brace. So we're gonna sturdy up the frame before we add any accessories. And now during the build, we added these little arrows to make sure we knew which leg was which. So the arrows should point towards each other. So this is the leg that goes on this side. And what I'm gonna do first is insert 1 bolt into this brace. And then I'm going to insert that bolt into the top of this leg. At this point, you want to keep your hands on this leg at all times, whether you're holding it with this hand that's holding the bolt or if you're holding it with your left hand, it doesn't matter. Just keep your hands on the leg somehow. And then we're gonna take the other bolt, insert it into the bottom brace, and insert it into the bottom hole. And you'll notice that this X brace is now sturdied up to where it can't close. And we haven't even inserted any wing nuts yet because these bolts are long enough to stay in there on their own while you set up. But now that this is sturdy, you can see it's leaning, but it's not gonna fall because of the support from the brace. We can grab the 2 wing nuts and secure this into place. So now we can set that to the side. And now we're gonna grab this other leg. And again, we have that arrow right here. We're gonna open this guy up, grab 2 more bolts, insert into the top. And you can see behind me how this is moving, but it's not falling. We're gonna insert the top bolt over here. And at this point, keep your hands on the leg. That is the moral of the story, is do not let go of these legs when there's only 1 bolt. And then we're just gonna insert the bottom bolt over here and watch this frame because currently it's leaning, and as soon as you enter this bolt, it straightens itself out. And now we can insert these wing nuts. So a lot of the materials in this build process, specifically the hardware, can be switched up on the size. However, for these bolts, I would not recommend going any shorter because the length of these is a huge help during this setup to make sure that even with the wing nuts off, it is still sturdy when that bolt is just sticking out on its own. So now we have a pretty sturdy frame overall. The only thing is that these front legs are going to go in and out until we get the dowels added. So I'm gonna zip this up, make sure we don't lose any cotter pins, and just set this bag aside. And then we're going to grab a whole bunch of dowels. If you watch the layouts video for this shelf, you will know that there is an endless amount of ways you can lay these shelves out. For this video, I'm showing you the setup for the 4x2 grid of apparel because that's what requires the most dowels and shelves, and I want to give you the full scope of this setup process. So for these dowels, the easiest way to do it is to come at it from the inside and then go in on one side way longer than is required and then insert the other side. And we're just gonna do that all the way from working from bottom to top. Now we can set this bag aside, and we need to grab those cotter pins again. And this time, instead of working bottom to top, we're gonna work top to bottom, and we're going to insert all of these cotter pins in the holes on the ends of these dowels. And the easiest thing to do is just hold this bag while you're working, and that way you don't have to worry about dropping pieces or anything like that. I would also recommend keeping extra cotter pins with you in case you lose any. We've definitely lost a few soldiers just from them falling and not picking them up during the setup process. And it's very important to work top to bottom on this step because now we don't want stuff falling on our head. I can't say I've had that happen to me before, but I'm more cautious about things falling on my head ever since the incident. Okay, so now with the dowels added, this frame is really sturdy overall. You'll see that the dowels can shift a little bit, but it's really not going to move a lot at all. And once we add the shelves, that will stabilize the whole thing for good. So we're going to start with the largest shelf here. I find that the easiest thing to do is come at it from the front, angle your shelf like this, and just slide it in there at an angle. Get one side set down, and then get the other side positioned. And you'll notice that it literally just sits on the dowel. Okay, I use that same technique for the rest of these shelves. And sometimes they might get caught, or you might go in at a bad angle. You just gotta give it a little bit of extra love and patience. So, like right here. Just, did you see that? And there it is, all set up, and I just want to show you, I wish I had Trey here to give a demonstration because we have picked this whole shelf up and moved it across an entire room before. That obviously can't happen right now because I'm here by myself, but I can slide it that way and this way, and she is sturdy as can be. So that's the setup process. I'm gonna show you the teardown process real quick. It's like the exact same thing in reverse, but I wanna make sure that you guys have it. To start the teardown, we're just going to grab the shelves, stack them or set them wherever you're planning to do that. Now we're gonna grab that zipper pouch from earlier, and we're going to work from bottom to top on these cotter pins and just pull them out and throw them straight into this bag if you have one. And we're gonna zip that up, set it aside. Working from top to bottom, we're going to take these dowels out by sliding them out one side and then sliding them that way. There we go. Sliding them out one side, sliding them that way, so on and so forth until all the dowels are removed. And I like to place them back in the bag as I'm going. And you know this frame is stabilized, so if you hit it right now, you're good, it's fine. Now we're gonna grab that bag from before, and it is time to start disconnecting things on the frame. This is where you need to be very careful. So currently it's still stabilized, so I'm just moving it to a position that works better for me. And what we're gonna do here is I have my right hand on the leg and my left hand is untwisting both wing nuts, and I'm just letting them fall to the ground. I'll pick them up at the end. And then what I like to do here, keeping my right hand on the leg, I push out the bolts with my left hand, and we still have this sturdy X shape from before, so that side's not gonna fall on us. And this side is now fully disconnected. We can fold it up, lay it down, or put it directly into the bag if you'd like. Pick up our hardware that fell on the ground so we don't accidentally leave it behind. Throw this into the bag. And then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So I have my left hand on the leg right now, undoing the wing nuts, just letting them fall to the ground. Push the bolts out from the side that is open-ended. I'm just letting the brace fall to the ground. Fold this leg up, get it out of the way, and then proceed to clean up your little mess. Put this zipper pouch back where it goes. The brace has already folded itself up. We're gonna throw this into the bag. And then all that's left to do is zip this up, and we're back where we started with a little bag, 4 nesting shelves, and 1 display that we were very proud of. So I hope this was really helpful. If you would like to build this shelf, you can go to canyouBelieveIt.com/shelf, and that will have all the resources that you need. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and be sure to check out the other videos in this shelf series on my channel. Okay, bye. I just misspoke. You should honestly work from bottom to from bottom. Oh my gosh, I thought there was a person there. Why am I so jumpy today?